Breaking news and welcome back to this Justin's WWE 2k24 Universe Mode. This is the WWE finale for the season of 2k24, and we are seeing here at Wrestlemania the defense of the Tag Team Championships here for WWE. We see coming out to the ring two men who have been former champions here in Universe Mode. They've held these championships way back in 2K19 when they held those championships for 66 days after defeating the Chosen Bros and before losing them to War Machine. And they have held what is the current lineage of the AEW Tag Team Championships on two separate occasions, totaling over 110 days with those championships. So no strangers to Tag Team Gold here in Universe Mode. FTR, formerly the Revival, some of the most decorated tag teams in Universe Mode history, and tonight making their return to Universe Mode in an effort to return to Championship Gold and winning ways where they can defeat the current champions. But in order to do so, they're going to have to defeat two of the most dynamic competitors here in Universe Mode in an alliance that has really seem to benefit these two. We see first coming out to the ring one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, the legendary Great Muta. Muta, along with his tag team partner, who we will see coming down to the ring in just a moment, defeating at the Royal Rumble, defeating the Fiend and Uncle Howdy in the Wyatt family to claim those tag team championships. Prior to that, these two tag team partners having faced each other in the past for what at the time was the IWGP World Championship. And there you see the poisonous mist from Muta. Could we be seeing that later tonight utilized at the hands of Muta to pick up the title defense against FTR here? And next coming out to the ring, the superstar, the rock star of Universe Mode, and a man who walked into this season of Universe Mode with the World Championship here in the WWE. He was the World Heavyweight Champion earlier this year when he defeated Kazuchika Okada back at Wrestle Kingdom last year. It is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, a very accomplished champion here in Universe Mode, the first man to hold the Raw World Heavyweight Championship in Universe Mode on this brand, and also his second championship reign, as mentioned, by defeating Kazuchika Okada last year at Wrestle Kingdom, would go on to hold that championship for 252 days before he lost it earlier this year to Samoa Joe. And since then, Shinsuke losing the World Heavyweight Championship, but dropping one in order to perhaps pick up another in his alliance with the Great Muta, has it been able to capture the Tag Team Championships, and Tokyo Cloud, as they call themselves, one of the strongest tag teams that we have seen in unity here in Universe Mode, and it has brought them such great success over the years. Muta and Shinsuke Nakamura, both so accomplished. Nakamura, the former world champion, the former IWGP world champion in Universe Mode as well. And now he holds Tag Team Championship Gold alongside his tag team partner Muta. And since they won them way back at the Royal Rumble, they've defended them last month against the Brothers of Destruction at Elimination Chamber, and proven that they are deserving of those championship title belts that they hold.
The following contest is a tag match set for one fall.
Also just want to say great consistency in the outfitting between Muta and Shinsuke here tonight.
Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of
Here we see 7-star FTR being introduced to the ring. Dax Wheeler and Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, formerly the Revival here in Universe Mode when they held those tag team championships, back and returning for the gold. in a division that they dominate. Very tough opposition here tonight for Tokyo Cloud if they're going to want to retain those championships, and for Shinsuke to walk out of this season with the championship gold. They have to get through one of the best teams in the world and the best teams in Universe Mode. Dax Harwood starting off this match for FTR, and on the opposing side it's going to be the Great Muta who starts off this match for his team. And immediately Dax Harwood tagging out to Cash Wheeler, perhaps trying to get in the head of the Great Muta, and it works in doing so because now a power slam from Cash Wheeler, and now a tag out to Dax Harwood, who looks to come in with a series of strikes but shoves off Muta, and now a chop block attempted, but Muta sidesteps that. In the early goings of this match, Harwood now repositions Muta into the turnbuckle, connects with Muta, looking to go quickly early on in this matchup, already going to look to connect with the power and the glory. Superplex from Dax Harwood, frog splash from Cash Wheeler, and now Dax, excellent tag team offense there, as Dax able to take out Shinsuke Nakamura and gain the advantage following that tag team maneuver, and great team synergy there from FTR. Get the advantage. The pinfall was attempted. Referee trying to stop Great Muta from following Cash to the outside, but Cash now with a suplex off of the apron. Both coming crashing down so devastatingly on the outside. Cash Wheeler with reckless abandon for not only his body, but for the Great Muta as well that we saw there. Now returns Muta back to the inside of the ring, as Muta, crawling, looks to get his way back up to his feet there, but Shinsuke Nakamura receives the tag from Muta, but Muta, you see, still prone on the inside of the ring. Not even enough energy to get out of the ring here, and now Cash Wheeler looking to capitalize on that. Muta with a strike to the midsection, though, answers back. Now Nakamura looks to go for an Irish whip to send Cash Wheeler into the turnbuckle pad there, but a reversal now from Shinsuke, colliding with one another. Shinsuke being sent into the turnbuckle where FTR can make the tag. Now Dax Harwood has Shinsuke up in a pile driver, stump pile driver assist from Cash Wheeler. Double pile driver, pinfall attempt there, and Nakamura gets the shoulder up somehow. Leg drop. I mean, it is still the early goings of this matchup, but FTR coming out the gate with some really high impact offense, such as the assisted pile driver and the power and the glory that we saw earlier on Muta. As mentioned, great tag team cohesion here from FTR, keeping Shinsuke Nakamura and previously Great Muta in that corner where they have the advantage, preferring to maintain the advantage in their own territory. Wise tag team tactics here, isolating Shinsuke from Muta and able to work him over with frequent tags, making sure that each man is staying fresh and healthy here. Elbow strike from Nakamura, though, fighting out of the corner now. And Dax sent off of the ropes. Nakamura ducks down, leapfrog to follow it up, and a German suplex as he ducks the clothesline and connects with that. Now Shinsuke gets Dax Harwood back up to his feet here, follows it up with a Northern Lights suplex, and a kick to the lower back there from Nakamura. Nakamura connecting with an impressive combination of offense there, and now we see both teams making the tag into their partners. Cash came running in looking for a strike on Muta, but Muta connecting with a drop kick to the leg. Cash now answering back with an elbow strike. Suplex attempt with the front face lock, but a series of strikes there from Muta, fighting back out of it. Now it's Cash with a series of elbow strikes that free him and escape out of the hold. Irish whip there from Cash Wheeler, comes charging in, clothesline, sends Muta back down to the ground. A knee lift from Cash Wheeler, suplexing Great Muta up and drops him down with that Falcon Arrow. Now taking Shinsuke Nakamura off of the apron with that spear, knocks him down. And now Cash Wheeler going to look to maintain the offense here on Muta, charging it with that clothesline. Muta sidesteps it, follows it up with a strike to the back and a Saito suplex, dropping Cash Wheeler directly on his head. 2 and only a 2 count there. Great Muta now back up to his feet here with a suplex attempt. Cash Wheeler though reversing the momentum, chop block to the back of the leg of Muta. Boot to the midsection, sidestep by Muta and a drop kick. Now Cash Wheeler, what's he looking for here? Boot to the midsection. Has him locked in the Gory Special here. See the Gory Special submission hold. Shinsuke Nakamura, though, entering the ring to break that up in quite an unorthodox way, as it looks like he hit his tag team partner there to break up the hold. Now Cash working over the leg. Gets Muta back up to his feet here and working over the leg on Muta. Going to serve the FTR quite the advantage here, perhaps cerebrally planning for such, but not enough to avoid the roundhouse kick there from Great Muta. Chop there from Cash Wheeler takes down Muta, who is unable to escape the ring in time before following making the tag in to Nakamura. Nakamura there looks for the advantage on Cash Wheeler. Reversal, ducks that clothesline, and now comes charging into the turnbuckle pad with that knee strike. And now Nakamura choking out Cash Wheeler in the corner here. Dax Harwood admonishing the referee, saying that he should be interjecting himself here. And I kind of have to agree. That was a choke in the corner, so he has a point. Pinfall attempt there. Only a 2 count. Now an Irish whip attempt, but no Cash brings him back in for a clothesline. Now we see Shinsuke getting back up to his feet here, but before he can work in any offense, Cash now returns him back into the turnbuckle pad, picks him up for a back suplex, but drops him guillotine across the rope. Follows it up, Dax Harwood with a back suplex there. Looks to come jumping over Shinsuke Nakamura to knock Great Muta off of the apron, but just in time, Shinsuke Nakamura able to make that dive and tag in Muta here. Muta with that power slam drops Dax Harwood across the knee. Now Muta follows it up with a Shining Wizard to an unsuspecting Dax Harwood. Pinfall attempt here now from Muta to Harwood. Pinfall attempt off the Shining Wizard, but Dax gets the shoulder up yet again. Dax now with the Irish whip reversal brings him back in for the pendulum backbreaker. Now Dax muscles him up, powerbomb position, but fighting back out of it now is Muta with a series of strikes to the face. Look to come in for that basement drop kick, but sidestepped by Dax Harwood, who then connects with that boot. Series of elbow strikes now from Muta, firing back out of it, and that spinning savate kick. Now going to make the tag into Shinsuke on the outside here. Shinsuke now following the tag in from Muta, returning back to the ring and fighting with Cash Wheeler on the apron there to knock Cash off of the apron. But before he can do so, now taunting in the corner before he can get the advantage on Harwood. Harwood comes charging in with that face wash, follows it up with an exploder suplex, and now a headbutt from Dax Harwood. Cash Wheeler now back up on the apron. Harwood going to bring Shinsuke Nakamura now over to the turnbuckle pad, and Harwood is fired up. Could be looking for here. Drops him for another pendulum backbreaker and follows it up with a Brett's Rope elbow drop there from Cash Wheeler. Cash now rebounding off of the ropes, comes charging in with a forearm smash to Nakamura, but Nakamura quick to recover, gets back up to his feet. Cash now taking him down with a drop kick. Fired up now. Cash Wheeler rebounding off of the ropes, but Nakamura ducking the clothesline. Cash Wheeler reversing the German and follows it up with a half and half suplex, but Nakamura's back up to his feet now. Cash Wheeler, though, sends him into the turnbuckle pad. Looks to come charging in. but Nakamura answers back with a back elbow. Great sequence from these two men here in this matchup. Now a back elbow from Cash, finding themselves at neck and neck. Their drop toe hold from Cash Wheeler. Now looks to lock in the STF. Camel clutch. Reversal though. The STF right in the face of Muta. But the reversal there, we see the tag hit from Cash Wheeler. A fatigued Cash Wheeler makes the tag to Dax Harwood, who, as his first bit of offense, goes for the chop block on Nakamura. And now targeted strikes to that left leg of Nakamura. And again targeting that left leg of Nakamura is Dax Harwood, clearly with an agenda in mind at this point in this matchup. Follows it up with a axe handle, returning Nakamura back down to the mat. Nakamura, however, with the reversal, brings Dax Harwood into the turnbuckle, where he was looking to make the tag there to Muta. Harwood answers back with a tiger driver, or excuse me, tiger suplex. Drop kick there from Dax Harwood as Nakamura looks to come charging in with that strike. And now Harwood with Nakamura positioned on the ropes. Slingshot suplex. Rebounds Shinsuke Nakamura off of the ropes. Once again off of the leg, just for added effect. And now Dax Harwood bringing Shinsuke Nakamura back over to the turnbuckle here. Rebounds Nakamura. Connects with a shatter machine. Looking for the pinfall here. Dax Harwood going to look to lock up Nakamura, Muta. But Muta breaking up the pin. Receives a tiger suplex for his efforts. And now Shinsuke Nakamura connecting with that Insecurity. Receives a basement dropkick from Dax Harwood. Nakamura now looking to recover here outside on the apron. Cash Wheeler, however, going to follow him out there with a back suplex across the hardest part of the ring. And follows that up with a elbow drop to the back on the outside. Nakamura, though, shifting the momentum. Forearm smashes to the face. As Cash Wheeler getting back up to his feet here. Reversal on the Irish Whip brings Nakamura back in for that clothesline. Nakamura now being sent back into the ropes, back inside the ring by Cash Wheeler, where he may be looking to get the victory here. Only place that he can do so. Off of a deadlift German suplex, bridging over now for the pin with the shoulder secured. Near fall there for Cash Wheeler. Very near fall off that German suplex attempt. Manhattan drop to follow it up from Cash Wheeler, not allowing Shinsuke Nakamura a moment to recover. Nakamura, though, answering back, driving Cash Wheeler across that knee. Tagging now to the Great Muta. European uppercut here. He's charging in with that clothesline is Cash Wheeler. Muta, though, obtains the advantage as Cash Wheeler looked to target Shinsuke Nakamura. Muta thinking better of it by answering back with a belly-to-back suplex. And now Muta working over the leg of Cash Wheeler. Which is fair play, as Cash Wheeler the one to target their legs earlier on in this matchup. Dax Harwood as well doing so to Nakamura. Certainly has been part of the strategy of FTR in this matchup to work over those legs of the Tokyo Cloud, where they derive much of their offensive maneuvers. Shinsuke now, as Cash was looking to get back up to his feet here. Does so successfully. Hoists Nakamura up. Powerbomb position. Muscles him back over to his corner. And a sit-out powerbomb. Cash now makes the tag in to Dax Harwood. Harwood now with a boot to Nakamura ensures that he is staying down for the time being. Dax now spinning around, hammerlock, follows it up with a hammerlock Northern Lights suplex that he bridges over for the pinfall attempt, and only a 2 count there. Rounded leg drop there to Nakamura And getting dangerously close here is Dax Harwood to the corner where Nakamura could potentially make that tag in. But instead, muscles Nakamura up from a cradle position all the way up to a powerbomb for that sit-out powerbomb. Muta, however, breaking up the pinfall before the referee can fully administer the count. Dax, pissed off about it, sends Great Muta off of the apron and crashing hard down to the outside. Grounded strikes there from Dax Harwood, and now he looks to bring Shinsuke Nakamura back into the turnbuckle. Reversal from Nakamura, a series of elbow strikes there. And Nakamura now bringing Dax Harwood over to the turnbuckle. Dax answers back with an elbow strike. Now Dax with a smash brings Nakamura back into the turnbuckle. They look to make that tag to Cash Wheeler. Cash Wheeler actually interjecting himself in this match illegally, so the referee's going to have to get him out of there as he connects with that Falcon Arrow on Shinsuke Nakamura, getting himself involved where it is not necessary. Although I'm sure if you ask him, he would think it's appropriate. Dax Harwood, though, taking the opportunity to drop kick Great Muta off of the ropes. Now Dax on the outside comes charging in on Nakamura with that jumping knee, and now follows it up with a brainbuster on the outside, crashing down hard. Cash Wheeler now returning Shinsuke Nakamura back inside the ring. Might be easy pickings here for FTR following the offense that Dax just hit on Shinsuke on the outside, but before they can do so, Shinsuke fighting back with a series of elbow strikes, looks to go for that roundhouse kick. Reversed though, ducked by Cash Wheeler, a chop to answer back, and Irish Whip turns him around into that hip toss. Now Cash Wheeler redirecting Shinsuke, brings him back over to the turnbuckle. Back elbow there from Shinsuke. Now a series of elbow strikes there from Cash Wheeler create the separation. Cash now looks to bring Shinsuke back over into the turnbuckle. Reversal from Shinsuke. Looks to come in with that Kinshasa, but sidestep now by Cash Wheeler in the late stages of this match. Surprising to see the evasiveness of Cash Wheeler to be able to move out of the way in time of that maneuver. It could have been very devastating for the challengers here tonight. Now Shinsuke working over the shoulder of Cash in the corner. Cash, however, coming charging in with the opposing arm for that running clothesline. Now, once again in this match, Cash could have been looking for the gory special there, but Shinsuke Nakamura able to shift the momentum, reversing out of it. Snapmare takedown and a quick knee strike from Shinsuke to Cash. Cash now crawling towards Dax, makes the tag in. Both members of both members of each team making the tag to the fresh man. Dax, however, looking to get the advantage here. Teardrop suplex there from Dax takes down the Great Muta, and Muta on the outside now as Dax takes Shinsuke Nakamura off of the apron. Cash now with the advantage on the outside. Dax comes diving down onto Shinsuke Nakamura from the top rope to the outside. He's not even the legal man at this point of the matchup. Muta is, and now Muta being returned to the inside as Dax is able to capitalize with that swinging neckbreaker. Follows it up with a spinebuster and stacks the deck. Pinfall attempt here from Dax Harwood. 2 and a near fall on Muta. But Dax quickly staying on the offensive. Very clever offense here from FTR. Quickly able to capitalize on all their offense in this matchup. Sit out, Tiger Bomb. Series of grounded strikes there from Dax Harwood. Dax now makes the tag in to Cash Wheeler. Could they be looking for another Shatter Machine? Shatter Machine connects on the Great Muta. Now it's Shinsuke Nakamura getting in the ring. Dax Harwood, though, getting his focus, and a near fall as Muta now kicks out. That time, the distraction paying off for them as Dax Harwood getting involved in the face of Shinsuke Nakamura and nearly securing themselves the victory off of that. But Great Muta still able to fight back in it. However, Cash now comes charging off of the ropes with that diving tope to the outside on Muta. Muta now being sent back to the inside at the hands of Cash Wheeler. Cash now going up to the top rope here on Muta. Going to come diving down with a leg drop to the back of the head of Muta. Pinfall attempt here from Cash Wheeler on the inside. Oh, we almost had new champions. You could see the frustration mounting from Cash Wheeler as that pinfall attempt came ever so close there from Cash Wheeler. Very, very near fall there for Cash as he almost secured the win with that massive diving leg drop off of the top to the back of the head of Muta. Now we see the tag in from these two men. Rebounding off of the ropes. Drop toe hold directly in position for Dax to connect with that elbow coming off of the ropes. Now Muta looks to recover on the apron on the outside, but Dax going to follow him out there. And earlier on in this match we saw this from Cash. Now Dax being the one to utilize the back suplex across the apron. Twice in this match now we have seen that from FTR. And Dax following into the inside now. Wrestling takedown. Just squeezing some of the air out of Great Muta. Basement dropkick to follow it up. And now Dax looks to relocate Muta into the turnbuckle pad. Muta with the reversal on the Irish whip. Stomps to the back of the arm. Muta now returns to tag in Shinsuke. Dax meanwhile making the tag in to Cash Wheeler. But Shinsuke catches Cash as he returns back to the inside of the ring with a landslide. Captures the leg, looks to go for the pinfall attempt there, but Cash gets the shoulder up. Nakamura, however, now repositioning Cash Wheeler by dragging him further away from the ropes. Cash, though, fighting back out of it. Nakamura there getting ping-ponged between FTR in a hazardous territory. Might want to think about escaping out of that corner where he is now receiving a strike to the back of the head from Dax Harwood. Dangerous territory there for Nakamura, who now brings Cash Wheeler over to the turnbuckle face first. Follows it up with a power slam. And now Nakamura going to go up to Brett's rope here. Calls for Cash Wheeler to get back up to his feet. Dives in with that diving Kinshasa off of Brett's rope. But Cash sidestepping out of it. Drop kick now to Muta off of the apron, so that Shinsuke Nakamura cannot make the tag here. Nakamura once again to Brett's rope. This time diving on Cash Wheeler with the knee strike, but this time diving to the back of Wheeler rather than in the face, and getting the advantage there, where Cash Wheeler is now sent to the outside. Cash, however, recovering, returning to the inside, and now going to go after Shinsuke. Irish whip there, sends Shinsuke into the turnbuckle. Rebound off of the ropes. Shatter Machine again in this match. Another Shatter Machine, this being the third one in this matchup. Two, and no, Shinsuke. Shinsuke with the fighting spirit of a champion gets the shoulder up. Despite Muta being knocked down still off of that drop kick, Shinsuke still with the fighting spirit able to survive in this matchup. And as we would suspect from a caliber of athlete, the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura, a man who has held world championships here in Universe Mode. Now sit out gourd buster there from Dax Harwood. Muta gets back up to his feet and takes him for a ride with that bulldog. Such incredible athletes here we are seeing, putting on such a showcase, such a performance here in what is sure to be one of the most legendary tag team matchups we've ever had here in Universe Mode. Really setting the bar high are these two teams with how accomplished they are when it comes to their endurance here tonight. Chop to the head there from the Great Muta. Keeps Dax Harwood down long enough for Muta to make the tag in to Nakamura. Nakamura now with a strike to the midsection. But Dax Harwood rolls to the outside to create the separation. Shinsuke, however, looked to climb to the top rope. Instead, thinking better of it, going to go after Cash Wheeler now, taking Cash off of the apron. Muta now, however, going to return Harwood to the inside so that Shinsuke, turning over Harwood, looks to go for the advantage. Harwood answers back, perhaps playing possum there. Harwood looked for that straight right to the face. Nakamura, however, rebounding him off of the ropes, looks to catch him with that German suplex off of the clothesline attempt. Back elbow reversal there. Shinsuke maintains the advantage, however. Tag in now from Shinsuke back to Muta, keeping each man on the team of Tokyo Cloud, the defending champions, fresh for the time being. Now Muta, boot to the midsection, takes Dax Harwood down to a seated position where he chokes him out with the boot. Tag back into Nakamura as Dax crawls over and makes the tag into Cash Wheeler here. House of Fire from Cash Wheeler. Wheeler now positioning Shinsuke Nakamura in the turnbuckles. Hoists him up to the top rope, and Wheeler going to look to follow him up. We saw this earlier on in this matchup from Dax, this time from Cash, a superplex from the top, but Nakamura immediately back up to his feet. Knee strikes to the midsection. Shrugging it off was Nakamura. House of Fire here is Nakamura. Stomp to the midsection again, and a stomp to keep him down. Tag in now from Nakamura. Returns the Great Muta to this matchup. Stomp now from Muta to the arm of Cash Wheeler. And now these step kicks here being utilized by Muta. What will we see here? What will it take for one of these teams to walk away with the victory? Perhaps that Snapdragon suplex that Great Muta just utilized will get Tokyo Cloud closer to that victory now, as Muta now from the top looks to come diving down with a body splash. Body press to Cash Wheeler. Dax looked to get involved. Dax now looking to break things up by going after Muta while he was ascending to the top rope. Reversal on that roundhouse. Now Cash connects with another Falcon Arrow. Cash now with Muta back up to his feet just momentarily as he connects with that drop kick. Now shoulder tackles, series of shoulder tackles from Cash Wheeler. Looks to follow up on the offense in the corner though, but Great Muta catching the leg, sending him face first down into a mat return. It's going to take something big at this point in this matchup for one of these teams to really walk away with the victory after everything they put each other through. And now Nakamura, butterfly, driller, Jay Driller from Shinsuke Nakamura. Drills Cash Wheeler with that move. We're tied up in the ropes right now is Cash Wheeler. Shinsuke Nakamura not able to capitalize with a pinfall, but continuing to lay in those boots does Nakamura. Perhaps also quite fatigued at this point in the match. Now makes the tag in to Muta, as these two going to look to go for a tag team maneuver. Double back body drop there from Tokyo Cloud. Cash Wheeler now rolling to the outside of the ring as Muta redirects his focus on Dax Harwood. Harwood, however, with the suplex to the outside. We saw it earlier from Cash Wheeler. Dax Harwood doing the same here to Muta, who has endured quite a bit of damage in this matchup. There we see the European uppercut to the back of the head of Muta, sending Muta face first into Dax Harwood's boot and the apron following that. Very rough landing there for Muta. And now, mockingly, Cash Wheeler locking in the STF here on Muta. But if anyone's going to have an escape for that hold, it's going to be Muta, who answers back with a back elbow. Now Cash fights back. Series of offense. Overhead belly to belly. Maintains the offensive advantage for FTR. Knee drop. It's been a long time since we've seen one of these teams nail a significant finishing move. And one more could be enough for one of them to walk away with those championships. We've seen 3 Shatter Machines in this matchup. I'm not too sure that either member of Tokyo Cloud could really take one more. But Cash Wheeler is surprisingly still on his feet following that J-Driller that Shinsuke Nakamura had hit on him just moments ago. Cash Wheeler now repositioning Muta over in the corner. Assist here from Dax Harwood. Double slingshot inverted suplex from FTR. Very innovative. And now Dax Harwood going to look to lock in the trailer hitch. And all that working over the legs in this match worked to his advantage. But Shinsuke Nakamura breaks up the submission hold before he can get too far away with wrenching in that hold. Nakamura saving the tag team championships for himself and his team. Dax Harwood, though, knocks Nakamura off of the apron and trash talks him on the outside for his efforts. Cash Wheeler, however, with the advantage on Muta, looks to send Muta into the ropes. Reversal by Muta. Connects with a combination of kicks there, does Muta. Muta also fighting back both members here of FTR. Series of strikes to both men, and now brings Dax Harwood in, perhaps just to make this ass kicking a little bit easier. And now sends Dax Harwood over the top rope into the outside, where Cash now comes charging in with that clothesline. Both members of Reinforcements on the outside, currently incapacitated, as Dax Harwood now connects with the final cut. Pinfall attempt here from Harwood. The hand of Muta is underneath the ropes, but no, Muta still getting the shoulder back up. I'm not sure how the referee didn't quite catch that, but it should have been a rope break for Great Muta, but nonetheless still able to get the shoulder up there. Now rebounding off of the ropes and comes diving in with another tope suicida to the outside at the hands of Cash Wheeler. Takes down Great Muta, who was busy distracted by Dax Harwood. Cash Wheeler now returns Muta back to the inside of the ring yet again. Cash, however, taking his time now to get back to the inside of the ring. Going to look to capitalize here on Muta. Muta, however, catches him with a Shining Wizard on his way back in. Catching him unsuspected with that knee strike across the face. Pinfall attempt here, 2, and no, Dax Harwood now breaking up the pinfall attempt for his team, as we saw Nakamura do not too long ago for the submission attempt that Dax Harwood had locked in. Now it's Muta working over the legs, following that Shining Wizard. Tokyo Cloud certainly having the advantage here on FTR. Nakamura sees Cash Wheeler position now in a seated position here in the turnbuckle pads. Stomps to the midsection. And now Nakamura could be waiting for Cash Wheeler to get back up to his feet here. Boot to the midsection and follows it up with a Kinshasa. Pinfall attempt now. 1, 2, and no, Cash Wheeler still gets the shoulder up. Kicks out of the Shining Wizard and the Kinshasa. Much to the surprise of this crowd, much to the surprise of me here, that Cash Wheeler still fighting on in this match, but FTR not giving up so easily. Diving elbow drop now from Muta, coming down off of the top rope. And now Muta is going to look to reposition. Cash Wheeler here. And now we see Muta locking in the Muta lock. Muta lock submission. Dax Harwood looking to get inside and find a way to break up the submission, but it's too slow to do so. FTR. Cash Wheeler being hit with the Shining Wizard, being hit with the Kinshasa. And lastly, the Muta lock, and Dax Harwood unable to break up the submission hold. Dax Harwood can't save this match for his team. And in doing so, 3 Shatter Machines we saw from FTR, but Tokyo Cloud able to retain their tag team championships here tonight in an incredible tag team matchup, one for the ages in here in Universe Mode. Probably one of the best tag team matchups that we've ever seen, and how appropriate to do so here in the finale of WWE Universe Mode. Thank you for joining me again for this Just In's Universe Mode. Don't forget to check out the other parts of WrestleMania.